Welcome to the FormWriter Scheduled Report Creation and/or Modification segment. In this particular segment, we've left our screen open and I've highlighted the open-closing monthly account summary via email. Now you'll notice in the Sims 2 the keystrokes are HSS. We've named the files this way to assist you in helping to understand what all the different form files mean. In this particular case, this report, we would want it to run monthly. It's a summary type report, and it's going to be delivered via email, but let's open it up and inspect it further. If we right-click on the report, we're going to get a small box that indicates we can edit Scheduled Report. This will open up a dialog that'll let us start setting up the schedule. We've set this report to be on the absolute first day of the month. So it will run the first day of every month. It's monthly and it runs once a month. Now we can choose the parameters. In the parameters there are lots of options in here. We can disable this report if we want to temporarily. When we build the demos, we disable all reports so that you must enable them as you want to use them. We have certain options in here like forced date inclusion. You will find that it will open up the help screens to explain each one of these areas if you want. But I'd like to bring special attention to this box up here called Special. Now in this Output To box, I could unclick that and I can click Email. I can go on and select email options, put in an email, put a subject, and put a message in there. That would be nice, except notice I have to enter the email address, so that report would only go to one email address. Let's unclick that. The same thing holds true on faxes. And again, this is a one-off type thing to do. There are other things that can be done, like the special options, which go and extract the email address from the account and use that email address. In this case, we're going to send out a report to email address number 1 and email address on number 2. It's going to be output type is email, of course. It's going to be a subscriber type report and will then be sent. Going from there, let's go by now and just interpret a few more actions that are going to take place. I've now gone into the SIF by section. This is the criteria that will select which accounts and what information will be sent. First of all, it says the open closing report field must have a Y. The account history report routing flag must have a J. These are some of the criteria that we set up within the Sims 2 database so that this report will only pick up those accounts that are going to be emailed and only those accounts that have an open closing report selected, and further to that, only those accounts that have an M in for the interval for monthly. Utilizing those few criteria, we will pick up and create reports on only those accounts. We will extract their email address out of the Sims 2 database and automatically email them to them on the first of every month. Of course, the last important criteria is when, and you can probably see here that it will be from the first of last month to the end of last month. So our generation, let's say for speaking purposes, will be on December 1st. And it will be a report from November 1st to November 30th. And it will be automatically created. We could add other criteria in there, like only certain dealers. Let's just take a second and make a little change there. Account group. We could add that over here. We're going to be a character match. We can bring up a little thing and check mark the dealers that we want this report to do. This is a further limitation of what's going on, but if you wanted to exclude out one dealer from receiving his reports and you didn't want to modify all his accounts, you could simply bring up the account group selections and exclude that one dealer. Now I'm going to remove that back out of here, so we leave this in the standard fashion. Click OK, and there's also sort by. In this particular case, we're going to create these reports in group order and then by account number order. For the most part, since they're individual reports going out, this doesn't have a big effect, but it does control the order that they'll actually be set up in the email queue. This could be very important when you're doing dealer type accounts where that you have multiple accounts within the same report for the dealer, and we would want to group those in account number order so he has some sort of ordered form of all the particular signals that are in there. There is a few other things that are worth noting in here. We can use military time on reports or not. We can include empty reports, which means we'd email it to customers that have no data. If this is unclicked, we will skip those. Also note that if we run across accounts that don't have email addresses, we will skip emailing those accounts, of course. We have the choice to insert the names for users on the reports or not. And we can include linked accounts on the reports. This is an example we've been discussing regarding the open-close monthly account summary. There are lots of other type reports, and it probably would behoove us to take a look at least one more. Let's try the Dealer All Events Group Detail Daily. This is a report that you might send to your dealers on a daily basis via email. Let's come down and edit this report. Notice the generation time is at 6 a.m. in the morning. It's done daily, every day. And in this parameters, again, we're disabled on this particular report, and we would want to enable it. But let's look at the special options. Under the special options, we can select to send this report to the dealer's first email address or the second email address, or both. It's a dealer type report and it's going to be emailed. In the sift by parameters, now we're back to the groups, and I can pick which group that I want to send. The short date is current date, yesterday's date to the current date, and the time is 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. On the sort by criteria, it's ordered by group and then by number. So in the particular way we've set this up, each dealer will receive all the accounts, all the information for his accounts each morning of all the activity over the day. I think it's becoming readily apparent at this point that how you organize your FormWriter has got a great deal to do with how simple the operation is, not only to set up, but to keep up. We're going to exit out of this right now in the parameters and examine another type of report. There are operator response. Now, in the operator response, notice this is operator response by mnemonic for Excel. If these are identified as Excel reports, that means they are delimited files that are simply going to put out information out into a disk file that then may be pulled up into Excel. But this is pretty an interesting report because, again, it's run at 1 a.m., it's run monthly, it's emailed to the central station operation or manager. It provides all events during the last month, and it can actually be ordered in a variety of different methods with status of response times, which one, the average, and so forth like that. For example, from this report you can tell how long it took your operators to respond to a fire as opposed to late to closes, and so forth, a breakdown beyond that. We've shown you how to use some of the existing reports that are provided with the demo. Should you want these reports incorporated into your existing FormWriter, you will have to contact SIMS personnel so that they might be merged in. This is possible, and it's our pleasure to do it. So by doing this and merging these in here, you can start removing the one-by-one reports that you may currently have in your FormWriter. Thank you, and this completes the FormWriter Schedule Report overview.